Party people! Time to get your groove on, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. And joining me today, I've got Ills.
Shorty versus Gasso!
And I got Noah.
Very, 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 very good.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you did. This week, we played a little game called Bust a Groove. And this was a Patreon pick. And it was chosen by our Patreon supporter, Kevin. He really wanted us to play this game. So he won the raffle. We played Bust a Groove. And Bust a Groove, not to be confused with Bust a Move.
Like I did.
Like you originally did. You thought that's what we were playing. But it's okay. I understand why you were confused. And it gets even more confusing. Because Bust a Groove in Japan is known as Bust a Move. Because Bust a Move in America is known as Puzzle Bobble in Japan. And, yeah, so...
Well, that would explain why it has the characters from fucking, fuck. What's it called? Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But when they brought it over to America, they called it, Bust a Move.
I don't know why.
When this game was being localized, obviously they were like, well, we can't really call it that. I mean, come on. So they just called it Bust a Groove instead of Bust a Move. So, I mean, it's confusing. But this is completely separated. This game, Bust a Groove, has nothing to do with Bust a Move at all. And it was developed by Metro Graphics and published in North America by 989 Studios, which really, that got me feeling nostalgic because I played a ton of PS1 games published by 989 Studios and also published by Enix and everywhere else, which is crazy because I didn't realize that Square Enix, Enix at the time.
It was just Enix at the time.
Just Enix.
It was before they merged.
Yeah, it was before they merged. Had anything to do with this. But, yeah. Now Bust a Groove, or Bust a Move, or fucking Bust a Groove, whatever you want to call it. It is a, by the way, it was released in 1998 on the PS1. And that's it. And also, had an arcade version, I want to mention, as well, that I just found out today. The arcade machine was only released in Japan.
Oh.
But also, it was called Bust a Groove.
What?
Yeah, yes. The arcade game was only released in Japan, and it was called Bust a Groove in the arcade.
Huh.
You can't make this shit up.
So weird.
Yes, it is. I don't know. Maybe they were planning on releasing it in the arcade games in America.
Maybe.
I'm sure. I mean, the way this game plays, I mean, I'm sure if you really wanted to play an arcade copy of this, it would be no problem. I think translation would really matter. Because Bust a Groove is a rhythm game. It's classified, I've seen, as a hybrid music/fighting game.
Which I can see.
Right. It's a rhythm game, but it's a competitive rhythm game. So usually with rhythm games, you're playing to a song, and you're pressing buttons to a rhythm, and a lot of times you're just trying to get the high score and get a high enough score and not mess up to move on to the next stage, right? But in this game, you are competing against somebody else at the same time.
And you can actually directly interfere with the other person's move, because you have attacking moves and dodging moves to dodge their attacks too.
Yeah, so that's
jammers.
Yeah, so that's where it really becomes kind of sort of like a fighting game, because you're always against somebody else, and you can kind of sort of fight against them. And the way the gameplay works is, like you said, I mean, you're going against somebody else, and you can interfere with their moves, and basically the camera is pointing at both of you. You're both dancing. You have two characters on the screen, And the better you do, because you don't have health bars like a traditional fighting game would, but the better you do, the camera moves towards your character and starts focusing more and more on your character. So at the end of the song, whoever has the camera closer to their side wins.
Which is fine generally, but I mean, it's so obvious that the game operates on a point system. They just hide the points from you. I wish they would just show the points, because that would make it a lot easier to know how far behind you're, behind, or how much you need to gain or how much you're ahead. That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, or like a bar that kind of just moved from one side to the other a little bit more. Even that, other than the just straight visual, because sometimes.
I mean, I kind of like it because it keeps you guessing and wondering if you're gonna be. Well, I mean, it's only when you're winning by a landslide that it completely goes over to one person's side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wish I don't know. It works, but I want it to be clear. It was my only thing.
I mean, this game being more clear on things is just, I guess, one of my biggest wishes. Yeah. In general,
because it doesn't really explain the mechanics at all. It just says if you go, it has a practice mode, so you can go in there and you can put 2 and 2 together. You have to go with the beat, but. It never tells you that you can attack your opponent. It never tells you can dodge your opponent's attacks or when to dodge your opponent's attacks and things like that, which is kind of important sometimes, especially when you play on higher difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a game, this game doesn't have a lot of mechanics to it. All the moves are fairly simple, and these are one of the main mechanics of the game. So it doesn't explain it to you at all. Not even in practice mode. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I know this is a problem with a lot of older games, right? Where they probably expected you to just, purchase
have the instruction booklet.
Have the instruction booklet that has, everything on the inside, teaches you how to play. Because I even went into options to see if there was a control thing to look at. Can I look at the controls? It's nothing. It's not there. You can't customize the control, so it doesn't show you what the buttons are. So you have really no idea. You can do the practice mode, which all it really is good for is just getting used to pressing the buttons to the beat. But that's it, really. It doesn't tell you actually how to play the game. So that's one of my biggest, I guess, critiques of it, is that you going into this game blind, you have... It's simple to figure out, but once you start getting attacked, you're how do I do that? And at first I was maybe I just have to build up my meter and then it will do it automatically, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't attack. And also you would have no idea you could dodge. I had to look it up. I went to Game Facts and just okay, maybe there's gonna be somebody out there that teaches you how to play this game.
Yeah, and also when I first booted up this game, I went straight into practice mode to try to figure it out. And they try to teach you the timing by having this visual cue. But I thought that was going to be present in the actual game. But it's just not. You just have to know when to press the... you get the slightest amount of visual cue when you're supposed to press the button.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do, especially if there's any lag. It's borderline impossible.
Mm-hmm. I did notice there's a smiley face in the top corner of the screen that shows you how many specials you have.
Yeah.
And when it sticks its tongue out and then puts it then when its tongue goes back in, once it goes back in, that's when you press the button. It does it to the beat. I noticed that as well. Just a random visual cue. But if you use both of your specials, then you don't have it anymore. But that's also not a problem. Really.
Yeah, I mean, the way I got over that, it was just I had to count the beats instead of relying on the game to tell me when to fucking press the button.
When I first started this game, I even told Brendan at some point, I felt the beat was being desynced from the music, randomly, and I was I know I'm going with the rhythm of the music. Why is it not lining up with the button presses or anything? And I thought I was musically challenged or something, and I couldn't I didn't know how to get the beat right. So I looked it up, and apparently there is a lot of desyncing issues with rhythm games in general, which when you use emulators like RetroArch or PSXE or any of those things. So you have to use a certain. I had to go into the settings and fiddle with the drivers to actually get it to work. And then when I played the second time through, it was like perfect. Like the music was going just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem with the game. That's just an unfortunate side effect of playing it on emulators. Because this game's not necessarily. I don't think it's a cheap game. Actually, don't think I looked up the price for it. But I assume it's not cheap. Also, I didn't really want to buy it because I was only going to play it for not very long.
Yeah, it's a pretty short game.
You can actually, I think this is one of the PS1 games that you can play on PS3. As like, you know how they have, it's a very expensive video game.
Yeah.
It's like $200 brand new. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Might as well get the freaking arcade cabinet at that point.
Yeah. Or just buy it on PS3 if you want to play it officially, you know? Because it was released on that service. I want to mention the game does have a sequel, by the way. Ghost of Groove 2.
I want to play it, actually.
It came out in Japan and North America, but never came out in Europe for the sequel. And then it has a third game, which was called Dance Summit 2001 on the PS2, but also was only released in Japan.
Damn it.
Yeah. And the second game I read in the American version, they took out all the cutscenes. So I don't fucking know why they did that. Seems like
the cutscenes really didn't offer that much. They were like, what, 5-10 seconds each? Like the ending.
I guess there's a lot more. There's more to it in the second game. But when you beat the game in Buster Groove, I say beat the game, I say that in
just
quotations.
Fight against all the characters.
Yeah, it's a fighting game, so it's really just an arcade mode, right, where you just pick a character and then you play against all the other characters in a random order, and then that's it. Each character, there's I think 10 characters at the beginning.
I think it's 12. No.
Yeah, I think there's 12. I'm not sure.
Something like that. Anyway,
there's 10. There's 10 at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
But you choose one of those 10 characters, and so there is a story in this game as well. And so it has all these 10 dancers, and there's a mysterious dance energy known as the Groovetron. And the goal for all these characters is to battle their way up to become the number one dancer. And the Groovetron, I think, is supposed to grant them some sort of wish or something. It's they all have different desires, and like any fighting game, all these characters have all these backstories that you never get explained. So you have to actually look it up. You know, the game doesn't tell you really anything about these characters, which it's just a typical fighting game thing. There's a lot of lore to all the characters and their motivations and all that sort of stuff. But I would say the characters is one of the very, very strongest points of this game. I would say probably the second strongest point. I'd say the music is the best, but the characters
I'd say third strongest point, maybe. I think the dance animations are the best.
Okay. Yeah, the dance animations are really fucking good.
That's true. But it's got some interesting characters. I actually really enjoyed the character design and the character choices they
had a good variety.
Yeah, they were all goofy and funny, and they all had a distinct visual style to them. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I beat the game the first time as Frida, and she was kind of like a surfer girl, like a West Coast surfer girl.
Like an artist.
An artist influenced by hip hop. And the second time I played it as Shorty. She's a little girl who has a mouse with her in her pocket. And they're just it's cool. It's fun, and you fight every character when you play through the story mode. So you get to even yourself, which is weird, but you get to see all of them, and each character has their own theme song, which is cool. Every character has their own stage and theme. And that
completely really original music and theme. And it also kind of gives you a little bit more backstory into the character themselves.
Yeah, because a lot of them have lyrics, and you kind of learn about the characters as you're fighting them through their lyrics and their music, which is really cool. And they're all inspired by different types of dance, which is also really cool because it goes through like all sorts of different styles. Because the music and the dance go through like there's like the 70s disco. There's like more modern like 90s hip hop. There's like Motown music. There's like electronic like house music.
Trance, yeah.
Yeah, so it's this kind of pop music. It's really cool. I really liked the variety, not just in the characters and the music style.
Yeah.
Except Kelly. She's the fucking...
Except Kelly. Kelly is a fucking nightmare of a fucking character. She's a grown woman dressed in a... She has like a baby fetish. Like, she's dressed like a baby. She has like her stage is... I don't know if you've noticed. I was looking at her stage. It is fucking terrifying, by the way.
Yes.
There's a giant baby bottle, right? You're in like a children's playroom. She has like a rattle. She's dressed like a fucking baby. There's like a spider on the wall with like a human face. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? There was like a rubber duck with like blood coming out of its eyes, like painted on the wall. I'm like, I don't understand this character.
She's a horrifying woman. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and she's got that, you know, I'm not here to yuck yums, but the baby fetish thing.
No, you can yuck those yums.
I'm yucking that yum. I'm sorry. Because, like, I don't know, dressing like a baby is really weird to me. So, yeah, she was a terrifying character. In the second game I read, she doesn't do this anymore. She's in the second game, but she's just a secretary woman.
Apparently she's dressed as a cop in the second game.
Oh, it's a cop. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Weird.
I mean, that's a fetish I can get behind, but...
Wow. I don't
Not the first
much
one.
about you, but...
Yeah.
I like... So, in her character description, though, is she is a secretary with a fetish with everything infantile related to babies and wants to find a man. She bought a rubber suit to dress in when she is a guest at secret parties. And I'm telling you, secret parties, is that like an orgy? I don't know. And then she's...
I just assumed it was a costume party. Probably is more than that, apparently.
Terrifying costume party.
Yeah. She's the worst. Some of these characters are interesting, though. Like, they all have different endings, right? Like, so I beat the game with the two characters I mentioned. And I went back and I went on YouTube because I was like, I want to see all the different endings. So you get like this 5-second cutscene at the end, right? And you get to see, like, when I first beat it, I was like, I don't really get this cutscene. All right, because I beat it as Frida, and she's just like making a piece of art, and then the cutscene's over. But I saw some of these other endings, and Strike was like the wildest one.
Yeah.
This guy, he's in jail, and this character's in jail, and he's from a street gang, and he's trying to make a fucking dance crew in prison. But his wish is to get out of prison when he wins the dancing competition. So you beat the game with him, and then he's like getting released from prison, and he walks out the doors, and there's just cops everywhere, and then he just whips out 2 guns, and then the cutscene ends. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I thought he was getting out of jail. Now he's about to have a shootout with cops. What?
Strike in general is just like such a 90s fucking character.
Yeah.
He's just like such a stock gangster character. He's just, oh man, it's definitely showing its age.
Yeah. I think out of all the endings, and I'm sorry, spoiler alert for the endings of this game, by the way, even though who gives a shit, really? The game takes 30 minutes to beat. There's a character named Ham, and it's like this chubby guy who just loves burgers, and his song is awesome, by the way.
It's amazing.
And his wish is to just he's chubby and he just wants to be skinny. He's the only one who seems like has like a happy ending, like at the end of his thing, like where like he just like he actually got his wish. Here it is. Like he looks in the mirror and he's like skinny and he's like, yay. Very weird. It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you ever played Twisted Metal, right? Because Twisted Metal was like all the characters got like a wish granted, and like they all had their own ending. So if you played through the game, you get to see like what your character's ending was.
But all their wishes were like came true in like twisted ways, like
Yes.
really
Like with
fucked
the
up
back.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a
because
bad
it's like a
side
deal
effect.
with the devil. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. My favorite one was from not to get too sidetracked, but my favorite one from Twisted Metal was Minion. This like basically giant like Satan man. You beat the game and he's like, I want to live in hell forever. And then they send him to Hell, Michigan, which is an actual town in Michigan. And he's just like freezing his ass off.
It's very dumb.
Yeah, it's very dumb, but it's funny. But yeah, I mean, I want to kind of talk about. You guys have anything else to talk about in terms of the characters? Like, who was your favorite character, and like who did you play as?
Yeah, I played. My favorite character was Kitty N. I played as her first time. Actually, the first time I played as Gasso, because I thought he looked cool. And then once I figured out the controls and everything, I played with Kitty N all the way through.
Kitty and the.
I definitely like, in terms of the music, the Kitty N's theme and Ham's theme were like my top favorites by far. But I really liked all the music in general, except maybe I didn't like Kelly's English version. Her Japanese version of the song was okay.
I thought Kelly's was fun.
I like Kelly's.
Yeah.
I
The song
hate
was good.
I hate Gasso's and Strike's songs. They're so bad.
I kind of like Strikes because it was kind of like. It was like Michael Jackson. I swear to God, it had Michael
There was a Michael Jackson segment, yes.
which I thought was kind of neat. But overall, the song was just okay. And yeah, Gasso's song was pretty shitty. Well, not shitty, but it wasn't as catchy as the rest.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Kitty's song is actually the main theme of the game.
Yeah.
Really?
Which, yeah. I mean, even it's like.
I thought Heat and Friday were like the main characters. I don't know why.
No, but Kitty. I mean, that's what was disappointing because Kitty didn't really get like her own song, really, because her song's just like the Busta Groove theme song.
But I like it a lot, though.
It's a really good song. It's an
song.
awesome song. But
played
her like
as-
theme doesn't really tell you anything about her, you know.
Yeah. I played as Shorty. I think she was my favorite. Though I like Kitty a lot too. Yeah, I just like her dance style is really good. I mean, everybody's dance style is pretty good. Like I said, all the animations are, probably the best part of the game.
Fucking Gasso has some really good break dance moves.
Yeah.
Pinky Diamond, I liked a lot. I liked her. I loved her song. I thought it
Yeah.
was really cool.
Her song is like, the woman that sang that song, like, she can sing. Like, she has a really good voice.
Yeah, it was just I really liked Pinky Diamond. I liked what's the other one I really liked? Obviously Kitty, and Ham was just really fun. And then Heats was like a really upbeat tempo, which I kind of like Heat's song a lot as well. So really good ass music. Also, God, what were the aliens' names?
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah, Capoeira. Their music was cool too. Which, by the way, there's like unlockable characters. Capoeira is like 2 aliens, who I guess are
so weird.
They were there to show the power of the Groovetron. They are really weird.
Why are aliens doing capoeira moves? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Their names
Why?
are Kiki and Lala, by the way, are the aliens' names.
Very strange.
Yes. And at the end of the game, you fight a giant robot named Robo-Z. Why? I don't fucking know. I mean, what do you want from this, in terms of the story? You just like, he's like a ginormous robot and you're fighting on top of a building right next to him.
Yeah, I did like that it was a little bit different from every other stage, where there was like, because he was so big, he takes up the majority of the space. So you're kind of like small and like a building off to the side. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. You can also unlock Columbo, which is Shorty's little pet mouse. And you can unlock Burger Dog, which is, he runs the restaurant from Ham Stage.
Yeah. And he dances like Ham.
Yeah, and Columbo has the same dance moves as Shorty.
Yeah, Shorty, yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. I like that there's unlockable characters. Gives you at least a little bit of replayability, and having just seeing all the different characters have their own unique dance moves, which is good. But here's what I'll get to: playing the game, which although there's all the different characters that have unique dance moves, they have unique styles, they look cool, their music is all different. But playing as all the different characters really isn't that different.
No, I mean, like, as soon as I was, like, in the middle of my first playthrough of the game, like, you basically know everything there is to know about every character in the game. Like, the game never moves beyond that point.
Yeah.
There's almost no depth. Like, and, like, the opposing character, like, even though they can fuck with your moves twice with those jammer moves, like, they barely have an effect on you.
They just ruin your combo streak, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can gain your combo streak pretty fast, like, right back.
Yeah, as long as you're playing it right, which is, once you, like you mentioned, isn't that hard. So the way the game is you press either X or circle on every fourth beat, right? And if you're just counting and you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's that every song, just the same.
It's just at different tempos.
Yeah, slightly different tempos, but you do it on the fourth beat, and that's it. But the only thing is, it switches it up is you can either press X or circle, and then there's different button combinations that you can press.
Like up, left,
like
right,
at the first, it's just circle, and then you have the choice of like you can do like the game will show you press like up, down, then circle, and all you have to do is press it before you press circle. And
at any time before.
At any time before, like you can do up down real quick, and then like wait, like as if you're pressing up down like on the one beat, then you can go 2, 3, and then press circle. It doesn't have to be with the beat.
I've read that if you actually do those button combinations in rhythm as well, you get slightly more points for completing the combo. Yeah.
Well, that would be lovely to see if they actually showed the fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems very difficult, especially when you get to some of the combos that have like 6 buttons. Like how are you gonna press like?
I mean, you don't have to go do it in the like as long as like the buttons between themselves are like pressed in a rhythm instead of just like up left up down then circle, or like it would be like up left up down circle. Like that would be like a good like combo, I guess. But yeah, that's what I read. I don't know if it's true because it's hard to tell.
I think different characters have different combo systems that they do, but at the end of the day, you're just pressing directions and then either circle or X. So even if like, oh, this character's second combo is up down circle and this person's is left right circle, it doesn't really change the gameplay. It's still the same no matter really who you pick.
And when you get to a certain amount of enthusiasm, that's when you get to like choose between those two, like either circle or X combinations. But I really would have rathered that the game like had branching paths. Like you could have like an X move and then go into like multiple ways for you to go at every turn. That would have made it a lot more replayable, a lot more interesting. You know what I mean?
I mean, the combinations do lead to different dance moves, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I wish there was more of that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree, because it is... Once you just get used to it, it is...
it's repetitive. I mean,
it is repetitive,
Very repetitive.
It's, and it's good. It's good. Fundamentally, it's fun to play, but it can really only hold... For me, it can only hold my attention for so long. I don't want to play this for more than 30 minutes to an hour at a time, It's because that's all it is, and that's what it is. It's kind of like an arcade game, which would obviously...
it literally is an arcade game,
but this game was before the arcade game. But like... it only holds your attention for so long. And that's what it's meant to do, I guess, at the same time. It has a multiplayer mode. You can play against your friends, which we didn't really test out. But, I can't imagine playing against somebody else is really going to be that much different.
You just have to be on your toes and try to make sure you don't get hit by the jammers.
Sure, but, at the end of the day, it's just who is not messing up more.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be I could see the appeal of playing it here and there, but it's not something that I'd want to play like all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I got the songs on my iPod now, which I'm fucking happy about, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I played it so I could hear all the songs,
Yeah.
too. Because, now these are songs that I'll probably also put into, like, rotation of, like, songs that I want to listen to when I'm listening to, like, game music every once in a while, you know? Because it's cool music. But, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, it's like... I don't really see myself coming back to this game, like, ever. Like, unless... I'm a little bit curious of, like, seeing the second one. Like, what did they improve on or whatever. But, just the music. That's the only thing I'm coming back to for this game, too. And I can just listen to the music now outside of that. Which, for a rhythm game, I guess is the good thing, right? If the music is good and it's going to leave an impression on you where you want to, like, still listen to that music even after you're done playing the game, then that's good. Man, I feel like I've covered everything that I wanted to cover in this game. You guys, is there anything else that I didn't touch on that you guys want to talk about?
That hero song is basically a fucking rip of, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I just
I
don't
did
remember
like
the name.
his. I
like his
his
song,
but,
yeah.
Man, it's a disco song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 70s song. But I can't.
I think it's
know
like
what you're
Staying
talking-
Alive or something.
It might.
Oh,
be.
they did have a segment where it was like, yeah.
They did change. By the way, Strike. There's some localization changes. Like what's his name? The hero, the disco guy, was smoking a cigarette at the beginning of his stage. They took that out, and then like Strike was drinking from a flask, but they changed it to like a soda can.
That's weird. Was smoking like banned or looked on badly in the 1998? I don't even remember.
Might have been like a ESRB thing, maybe, so that they didn't have to like get a higher rating. Where they, how they have to put like drugs and alcohol on the ESRB label.
But it literally had Strike shooting guns, but that's what bothered them.
Yes. Also had terrifying people in baby costumes.
Yeah.
America loves guns. Come on.
Yes, America, violence, it's fine. But
also, like, Ham's song had some certain words and lyrics.
Altered. Some of the characters had some altered.
But it's still in the final version. It still has the N-word in there.
It's. I thought they took it out, or it's really lowered. You can't really hear it.
I mean, I heard it.
They took out any reference to McDonald's and Burger King, by the way, which he said in his song originally, which is kind of funny. They talked about Burger King and McDonald's, and they were like, we probably, it's, obviously America, with licensing issues is much more strict than it is in Japan. So they had to take that out. And they also changed the line I saw in Strike's song that had a reference to alcohol, and they removed it, and they just left the instrumental. They just took it out. They didn't even replace it with anything. They're just like, no, can't talk about alcohol in this game.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I hated Strike's song, because there was just like a random version, like a random part of the song where it's just instrumental. It's like it feels so out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels incomplete. So obviously they took stuff out.
Yeah. Also noted that they changed Ham's design because he was kind of more of a almost blackface in Japan is kind of about that, So, I mean, they've gotten better, but it's a good thing. I'm glad they changed Ham's design, because there's really no place for that, really. So it's a good thing. That was a good change. I'm glad they did that. So sometimes censorship is good.
What?
Sometimes, for the right
I heard
reasons.
you say that.
For the right reasons, it is good sometimes.
Gonna have to save that somewhere.
That's fine, because I said sometimes.
I'm gonna take out the part where you said sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you didn't say sometimes originally. You just said sometimes censorship is
This
good.
recording's gonna be up, dog. You're not editing this, so...
I can edit it.
Well, you can, but the original one's still gonna be up. So... No, we're not. You're not using it against me. So, you guys want to move on to recommendations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, who we start with? I guess I'm gonna go first. And I'll just say this is a weird one. Like, I'm not gonna say no. I can't say no. So I'm gonna say yes. Because I think it's if you like rhythm games, I feel like it's a no-brainer. You know, it's a good game. As in terms of rhythm games go. It really depends on. This is a weird one. Like, I feel like it really depends on like what you're looking for in a game. This isn't a game I'd recommend to everyone, but overall I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, because it is fun, and it's if for anything, you know, at least just play it to experience the cool dance moves and the awesome music. So overall, yes. But if this doesn't sound like your type of game, then obviously not. All right, Noah?
Yeah, I'd recommend it for sure. Like you said, if you're a fan of rhythm games, this is a good one to play. It's not the typical... Well, I mean, kind of is, but it just has a few twists here and there that kind of separates it from other rhythm games, like the attacking the opponent jamming system. It's pretty cool, but... Yeah, even if it's just for the music itself, just give it a try. I mean, you're not gonna be playing it for hours and hours, but yeah, definitely give it a try if you get the opportunity.
All right, Ills?
Yeah, I'd say I'd recommend it. I mean, the game definitely has a lot of style. Like I said, the animations are fun. The characters are pretty fun too. The music is good. I mean, it's a nice little game for like an hour or two.
Mm.
All right. And with that being said, now it's time to put Bust a Groove on the list.
The list.
You can follow along with us with the list on in the Pastebin Pastebin. I put the Pastebin link in the description below. So click that link and to get access to the list. Take a look at it because that's what we're going to be referencing here. So every week on the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, we add whatever game we played to the list, and it's now time to figure out where we think it ranks. It goes from best to worst, and we have to fit it in somewhere. So, Ills, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I already had a place picked out.
Cool.
I would put it below Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones. That's at 155. I think.
Yeah, I can.
I think this is like the right place for it. It's definitely like a niche game. I don't think it lasts that long. It has its good spots, but like the core gameplay of it doesn't like, you know, it doesn't progress past, you know, the initial charm of it.
It's still solid though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so are the rest of the games above it.
Mm-hmm.
And even below it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, directly below it, you know, within like the next 10 or so, are all overall solid games. So yeah, I mean I can't really argue that. I mean, I would say I'd rather play Sacred Stones because at the end of the day, it's a Fire Emblem game, even if it has probably one of the worst Fire Emblem stories, but like still good at its core. And then Dragon the Mark for Death, obviously, I only played that game for a bit, but I could already see its, you know, the negatives about it in terms of the mission structure, and it can be frustrating sometimes. So, and even looking, I feel like frustration kicks into all the games that I think, like, the next three after that, like Dragon Mark for Death. Crash Bandicoot has very frustrating moments, and Rystar at the end of the game is very frustrating with that shit level. So, yeah, I can agree with that.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
Damn.
God, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, I think that's a good spot. So that puts it at number 156 on the list, and surrounding it, number 154 is Legacy Kane Soul Reaver, 155 Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, 156 now Buster Groove, 157 Dragon Mark for Death, and 158 Crash Bandicoot, the OG, the original. And that does it for the list, and we're going to wrap things up here for this podcast, but before we go, just want to do a few plugs here, and if you enjoyed Jump Up Supercast Game Club, go ahead and check us out on wherever you want to listen to podcasts, including wherever you're listening to it right now. But we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. New episodes of the Game Club go up every other Thursday, and new episodes of the Jump Up Supercast go up every single Monday. On those episodes, we talk about news and general gaming stuff. Also, add games to the list every episode. So, give us a follow, a like, or give us, go ahead and share if you liked it. Feel free to let us know what you think about Buster Groove. Have you ever played Buster Groove? Do you want to play Buster Groove? Do you think the game sounded good? Do you think it sounded like crap? Let us know down in the comments. And if you have a game that you want us to play, actually, this was picked by one of our followers, one of our supporters.
Yes.
Listeners,
Thank you for
Kevin.
picking this game, by the way.
We appreciate it because he is a Patreon supporter, and for just $1 a month minimum, you get the chance to choose one of our Game Club games every round. You also have access to our Discord, so you can talk to us about games and everything there. We do the raffle once a round on the Game Club, or we just let our Patreon supporters pick a game, and they've picked some good games for us to play. So far, no big complaints. So thank you guys. Even if you pick a bad game and you make us suffer, thank you anyway. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay up to date on everything Jump Up Supercast related. And you can even catch us streaming sometimes on twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast. Also want to thank Ills and Noah for joining me today. But before we go, now we're back on a new round. And it goes, Noah, you are next.
Yes, I am. And we're going to be playing Haunting Ground next.
Fuck is that?
PS2 game.
PS2 survival horror game.
God damn it.
This very rare, very expensive game, so I'm obviously gonna have to play it on the emulator. But all right, cool. We're gonna be playing Haunting Ground. In 2 weeks, we will have a new episode up, and you can find out what we thought about that game. So thank you everybody for joining us. Go out there, play some video games, and be nice.
Fucking survival horror.